Next up, I'll cover how important modeling aids are by showing two examples. The first model on the left uses clean and simple curves thanks to the use of these various modeling aids, so that accuracy and closure is guaranteed. The second model was built without any modeling aids or good practices. This will show you the kinds of problems that can crop up early and only get worse over time. Let's zoom in on a couple of key things to remember. So we want to make our curves simple, and that just means a minimum number of points. Make sure they're clean. We want to avoid any pinching or overlaps or multiple control points stacked on top of each other. Also, if these will be prototyped, it's especially important to make sure these curves are closed. That means no gaps in them. So as my general rule, I just try to be careful and accurate as I build stuff. Even though it takes a few extra seconds, I know that it'll save me a lot of hours of agony later on. Let's take a look at the two examples in this scene. So both of these were created using a single flat curve. It was then extruded, it was then capped, and there was a fillet along the top edge. One way we can check out to see if there's any problems is just click on the surface itself. If it all lights up, we know it's okay. Try that with the second one. And we'll notice that the vertical walls are lighting up separately from the fillet and top. So we have a definite problem there. Let's go back to the first one. I'm going to hide this geometry for just a second. Control H is the shortcut. So here's the curve that generated that form. I'm going to turn the control points on with F10. Check it out. That's a perfectly formed curve to make that shape. The reason being, there's like the bare minimum of control points. We can tell there's not a simpler way to define that curve than those few number of points right there. Let's see if we can figure out what went wrong on the second model. Thought I spotted something, and here it is. There's a little gap. And that caused these edges not to meet, and then problems with joining the top. There's a little gap up at the top as well. I'm going to go ahead and just delete these. See if we can fix it. Also, it looks like the person realized they were in trouble and tried to put some extra curves here to close it up. I detect an arc here, so they probably ran that rail around the edge. We can just throw those away. We're going to try this a much better way. Let's zoom in on this problem. Here's the gap I talked about earlier. I'm going to turn the control points on. This probably resulted from a sloppy mirror transform where they copied one side to the other and it was just a little bit off, probably because I didn't use an axis to mirror it. Let's see if we can fix this. I'm just going to drag this one point over here and snap it. The other one looks okay, so it's probably just one of them. Now that should have ended up closing this arc. So I'm going to try one more thing. A lot of times if we have a seam here, that's a sharp pinch as I moved it. I'm going to put it back. I can usually just delete it without modifying the curve too much. Do the same thing with the far side. So I might be a little more careful if I was building this from scratch, but it looks like it's good to go. I'm going to turn the original one back on so we can use it for reference. Okay, let's do a surface extrude. Surface creation, extrude. Looks like it's defaulted to both sides. I'm going to turn that off. Hitting the command line. Yeah, I can use this other object just to snap to it. Oh, I'm also noticing on the command line we have options. Let's just make this solid. So this will be capped top and bottom automatically, even though we're in a surface command. Solid equals yes. So let's snap there. Also going to change my modes here so we have a little bit better feel for the ISO curves. All right, that looks really good. It's all highlighting. That's one way to test. Go to the solid menu now. Actually, solid tools, since it's already existing. And we use this fillet edge command. So that went all the way around. So it was a pretty small radius. I'm going to change that. Maybe make that about 10, see how it looks. Now, sometimes if you don't enter the number at the very beginning of the command, it doesn't get updated. So you have to grab this handle and pull it out. Let's just see if that's about the same size as the other one. I'm guessing it's a round number. So I'm going to click on that point right in the middle and just type 5. That's one way to avoid having to get that super accurate like while you're moving. So if that looks good, I'm going to right-click to accept. And there you have it, a repaired and clean surface. So the quality and accuracy of your curves directly affects your model for a long, long time afterwards. Actually, forever. So it's always worth it to slow down a bit and make sure every point is connected to where you assumed it was being connected. Otherwise, a simple error can ripple through the model. It's always worth it to spend a few extra seconds using those Object Snap modeling aids and save yourself hours of repair work later in the process.